Horse players, the best of racing is always at Los Alamitos, with action-packed racing featured every single night. Trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Winter Derby will headline this Saturday night program. Top sophomores set to race include Rockin' with Energy, the runner-up in the Grade 1 Egbert Million, and multiple futurity finalists Optical Illusion. And don't forget about the big pools at Los Alamitos. The early Pick 4 had a pool of nearly 180,000 last Sunday, while the total pool in the Pick 6 was over 160,000 last Sunday. Our first post on Saturday night follows the final race at Santa Anita. Looking for a great spot to enjoy the live and simulcast racing action? The Vessels Club has a great table just for you. Inside seating and patio tables are available. For reservations, call 714-820-2681. And of course, Burgart Sports Bar is open for every live racing program. The best of racing, always, at Los Alamitos. Remember, the trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Winter Derby headline Saturday's card.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the race book? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the Racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our Racebook is completely separate from the Sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Saturday morning. It is Pegasus World Cup Day, and it's going to be a lot of action going on in the race books here in Las Vegas. We welcome you to the show. We come to you live and direct from the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex here on the Strip in Las Vegas, and, of course, covering the world on the many different platforms that we had, like our websites, your apps for your devices, your iPhones or your Androids, podcasting, etc., and, of course, streaming on YouTube right here at South Point Studios. Just go to YouTube, hit in South Point Studios, and you get to see and hear us on the South Point Studio simulcast feed. We welcome you to the show on this Pegasus World Cup Day, and on, of course, the day before the big championship games in the NFL as well. But we're going to concentrate a lot today on the Pegasus World Cup. Let's set the stage for you. It is 40 degrees right now outside here in Las Vegas. Believe it or not, we're going to get up to 64, and beginning next week, we're going to get into the high 60s, 67 and 69 for the first couple of days of next week. But for today, it's always fast, firm, and perfect, of course, in our race books today here at the South Point. That is for sure. As far as the weather across the country, the only bugaboo of any rain or any weather that may affect racing conditions is going to wind up in Louisiana and maybe through Arkansas, et cetera. But as far as the Northeast and especially down in Florida, looks like the weather conditions are going to be fine. Right now, it looks like 79 degrees today in Miami. And as far as the weather conditions at the racetrack, they say the track is fast, the turf is firm, Tapeta is Tapeta. And, of course, it's fair. Temperatures right now about 76 degrees. You got the wind southeast at 8 miles per hour, humidity at 85%. And that's setting it up for the Pegasus World Cup today. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to bring in Jonathan Hardoon early today because I want to go over the races at Gulfstream and then let him get going as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our other handicappers to do that as well. But setting the table for today for the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream, first of all, the early post time today is 8 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Pacific time, which is right when we're getting off the air today on the show. 8 o'clock, we'll start off the 13 races today at Gulfstream Park, 7 stakes races. They'll have 4 pick 4s today, 3 pick 5s. They have a $1 million single pick 6 guarantee if you're the only ticket holder, but that's a fallacy because you know that the pick 6 pool today will exceed $1 million, no doubt about it, on the big day of racing at Gulfstream. So you have a late pick 5 guarantee pool of $750,000. You got the late pick 4, same thing, $750,000, and the late pick 3 at Gulfstream Park today will be $350,000 guarantee. All of those guarantees will be met with no doubt, I believe, today at Gulfstream Park. And as far as the Rainbow Pick 6, we already told you, $1 million guarantee for a single ticket winner, but there'll be well over $1 million in the pool. And, of course, you have that coast-to-coast Pick 5 that's happening between Santa Anita and Gulfstream Park today as well. And Gulfstream Park does have what they call the Tropical Park Turf Pick 3. It's a Pick 3 covering 3 races, of course, on the turf. All right, let me bring in Jonathan Hardoon right now. Jonathan, good morning, my man.
Good morning, Ralph. Happy Pegasus Day to you, my friend.
You know, we've been suffering through some lackluster and some, to be quite frank, anemic cards around the country. But today, it's all about Gulfstream Park. It's all about the Pegasus World Cup. And, man, do they have some great races. The second race is going to be a maiden race for 3-year-olds at 7 furlongs. That'll be a key race to watch, that's for sure, for future edification. And, of course, all of the Pegasus World Cup stakes and a few other stakes races, 7 overall. Jonathan, I want to go through these races with you, just race by race, but just, kind of an overview, because I know that you have a Gulfstream Park sheet and, of course, a few picks from you as well. And you also have an Aqueduct, Oak Lawn, and Santa Anita sheet. But concentrating on Gulfstream today, it looks like it's going to be beautiful weather out there today.
Yeah, they're lucky. No chance of rain. And, it's been bad weather until the last few days in Florida. It's been cold there this year. But today is a beautiful day, and it's really a terrific card. It's supposed to be a great card, and it actually turns out to be a great card. And it's a terrific betting card as well. You got prices all day long. So if you're looking for a shot, you have some shots in races where you have an opportunity to really make some money. People are tired of these 5- and 6-horse fields all week, at Santa Anita and other tracks. You want race cards like this, and you're getting it.
Well, we're getting it today, and the first race, of course, at 8 a.m. Pacific time will start the first of their pick 5s today. It's an overflow field. Of course, we do have the late scratches in the first race. You can scratch the also eligibles 13 through 16. It'll start out on the turf and an optional claiming race there. Then that second race, as I said, is going to be a race for 3-year-old maidens at 7 furlongs. You got the scratch of number 9, Iron Tap. The 9 is out, but some well-bred horses in this race as well. The third race will be a nice little romp at 7.5 furlongs on the turf for optional claiming filly and mare 4-year-olds and up in that race. Scratched the 4 in that race. Fastest Flight is scratched the 4 in that race. The 4th race is the South Beach Handicap. 9 go to the post in that one. The big favorite there is Sand and Sea with Paco Lopez at 9-5. It looks like an interesting race as well. And then in the 5th race, you got a mile on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. I see that we have several scratches there. Scratch the 9 Stat, the 13, the 14, and the 16. 9, 13, 14, and 16 out of the 5th. And then we start with the series of stakes races. The Grade 3 La Prévision is the 6th race on the card at 1.5 miles on the turf for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up. This will start one of their many pick 4s on the day. You got 2 scratches in that race. Scratch the 6 Sister O'Toole and the 7 Sensitivity, which will leave a field of 7 in that race. The La Prévision, John.
Yeah, well, the one is the horse to beat, Romanga Mia, but she's 8-5. The interesting horse to me in the race, Ralph, is the 8-horse Tess. This horse is 12-1 on the morning line. You know, she's the right horse to be king at the price if you get anywhere near that price. It looks like a 3-horse race to me, the 1, 3, and 8, but there's no value in using the 1 and 3. They're 8-5 and 9-5. So the value to me in the race is number 8, Tess.
Tess, of course, Javier Castellano, your jockey that you would have voted for the Eclipse Awards, is riding, that's for sure. Nice fat price at 12-1, Tess in the 6th race, starting out that pick 4, one of the many pick 4s on the day at Gulfstream. All right, the 7th race is going to be a handicap race. This race has a purse of $100,000 at 1 mile and 70 yards for 4-year-olds and up. There are 13 in it. As you know, they still have to have a scratch of the 13, which is the also eligible, but that hasn't come across yet, so we'll just leave it at a field of 13. This is a wide-open affair as well.
It is, but I love the jockey change on the 6 county final. I mean, you're getting Flavian Pratt. Take nothing away from Lionel Reynes or Rocco Bowman, but when you get an opportunity to get Flavian Pratt, you could be sure that the horse is going to move up, and 4-1 is more than a fair price, and that's the horse that I happen to like in there.
Yes, I can see that marked on your sheet. That's for sure, the 4 county final. But the key thing about this 1 mile race, it's a 1-turn, 1 mile race. So they'll start on the chute and make their way all the way down the backstretch, a long run before they make the only turn in the race. So they'll be able to get position in the race. But there could be.
No, Ralph, this is 1 mile and 70
I'm
on
sorry.
Tapeta.
I'm sorry. You are absolutely right. 1 mile and 70 yards. So it's on the Tapeta, which is 2 turns. And it looks like they'll have to negotiate some traffic in this race. Should be a full field in that race. I stand corrected. It is on the Tapeta footing at 1 mile and 70 yards. All right, now we get to the 8th race. This will start out the pick 6. This is also part of the all-turf pick 3. It is the Grade 3 William L. McKnight handicap at 1.5 miles on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. We have several scratches in this race, folks. There was an original field of 16, but the scratches are number 6, Palazzi, the 9, Grand Sonata, the 10, Rock Emperor, the 12, Red Run, and the 14, Catch That Party. So you scratch numbers 6, 9, 10, 12, and 14 out of this race, and the 15 and the 16 draw in the race. And in this race, after all the dust is settled, is the 1, Francis Coclement, at 2-1 on the morning line with Ired Ortiz Jr. aboard.
Very contentious race, Ralph. You can make a case for about 5 or 6 horses. It's 1.5 miles, so it's a tricky distance. They don't run this distance often, and you can either go the distance or you can't. The horse that I liked happened to be scratched, the 9, Grand Sonata. But take nothing away from the AEs that draw in, all 3 of them. The 13, even the 15 at a big price, and the 16 all have chances. Wide open race. I think you have to go deep there.
I will tell you this. I have a fancy for the horse that will wear saddlecloth number 16. The horse's name is F5, but he's number 16 in the race. At 12-1 with Luis Saez aboard, I know he needs to get a trip, but at 1.5 miles on the turf, I think he could work out a trip in that race. Watch out for that horse that comes from the also eligible list in that race. All right, the 9th
By the way,
yes.
Take nothing away from Brian Lynch, the trainer of the horse you like. He's 12 for 35 at the meet, so he's having a terrific meet. Everything he's sending out is running big.
Man, I'll tell you, isn't he, though? I mean, he's really in the zone right now, that's for sure. at Gulfstream. And we all know about the big losing streak that Chad Brown's been on. He cracked that yesterday. He won a race yesterday, folks, so he's off the schneid, and he's got plenty of very good, competitive, talented horses running today. I expect Brown to have more than just that one winner yesterday by the time the sun sets today in South Florida, that's for sure. All right, the ninth.
I think he had 14 entered before late scratches, so chances are he's going to find the winner's circle for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure the odds are good that he's going to get there today for something, that's for sure. All right, the ninth race starts out a pick 5. It is the $200,000 Grade 2 Inside Information Stakes, 7 furlongs for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. And it has a field of 10, no late scratches in this race. And it looks competitive, although Mary Quite Contrary is the 2-1 favorite with Mr. Panici aboard. I still think that this is pretty much a wide-open race.
It is a wide-open race, and you're right. Mary Quite Contrary has a slight edge on the figure. She's a little faster, but she's going to be a lot shorter than other horses here. You may want to try to beat her at she's going to be a short price. She could win. There's no question about it, but it's a lot tougher race than it looks like.
The 10th race will start out a pick 4, and it's part of the all-turf pick 3 as well. The Grade 2 Pegasus World Cup Filly Mare Turf. This is a $500,000 race at Grade 2 because it's just starting out as part of the Pegasus World Cup races. And so it's in a mile and 16th on the turf for 4-year-olds and up, fillies and mares, of course. And in this race, scratch number 5, Full Count Felicia, and the 13, Be My Sunshine. So the 5 and the 13 are scratched in this race. That'll leave a field of 11 to go a mile and 16th on the grass. And in this race, the favorite at 5-2 and lukewarm at that is Star Fortress with Luis Saez aboard.
Well, she ran huge in her one and only start in this country. The race she ran at Churchill in the Cardinal Grade 3 Stakes was a huge figure, but there are other horses. Ruby Nell ships in from Southern California. Didia races all over and always brings her race with her, doesn't need a special track. She travels all over, and she travels well, and she wins. It's an open race. Again, if Star Fortress runs the race she ran first time in the country, she'll be tough, but it was only one race, so who knows?
And when you get these horses coming in for the first time of the country, they usually shoot what is possibly their best shot going when they come over. And then the foreigners kind of regress when they get into their second and third races in this country, usually, don't they, Jonathan?
It's called the Euro bounce. That's the term they use. They usually fire their best shot first time in the country, but they did give this horse time. So, not necessary that she has to bounce. It's a good race.
All right, then we turn the page and go on the second half of this big day of racing at Gulfstream. The 11th race is the $150,000 Grade 3 Fred W. Hooper Stakes at a mile for 4-year-olds and up. I'm assuming this is a one-turn mile. And you can scratch the 9 Giant Game out of that race of 12, so it leaves 11 yet to go. And the rail horse, Hajazi, is the 8-5 favorite, Flavian Pratt, and we know what barn Hajazi comes out of.
Yeah, Mr. BB, he's got no problems running in Florida. This is not Churchill, so they welcome him there. They roll out the red carpet. But this is not so easy. Don't hand it to Hajazi so fast. Chad Brown's horse, the 8, Accreditive, is really a nice horse. 5-year-old gelding. Didn't run well last time out, but that was a cigar mile. It was an off track. He was against the track that day. Look for this horse to rebound and really show marked improvement. Number 8, Accreditive.
It's a very good race to be playing in exotic in, because there's going to be a lot of fat prices underneath either one of these two that get there. That's for sure.
All these races, horses are going to slip through the cracks and go off 10, 12, 15 to 1. That should be much shorter. It's kind of like the Breeders' Cup Day.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes, it's reminiscent of a Breeders' Cup Day, that's for sure. And then we have the two big races of the day. The $1 million Grade 1 World Cup Pegasus Turf at a mile and 1/8 on the turf for 4-year-olds and up. It's the 12th race on the card. You got that's the final in the all-turf pick 3 races, and it also offers a super high 5 that should be really a good payoff in this race. Scratch number 13, Grand Sonata, and the 14, Angelo Felipe. I think it's the 14 horse. 13 and 14 are out. This affair comes down to trying to beat the favorite Warm Heart there at 9-5 with Ryan Moore aboard, and of course their connections are always lethal when they get into these races.
Yeah, well, if you remember this horse's last race in the Breeders' Cup, it took a great ride on Inspiral to beat this horse in the final jump. You know, she got beaten. And she's been back to Europe, though, and back here. So it seems like it may be a lot of travel. And if she's going to be vulnerable, maybe it's today. There's an interesting price horse in there, number 6, King Max, that I would not leave off my tickets, 12-1.
All right, man, you're giving us some good plays going on here today. But I know you teased on several shows coming into this week about the Pegasus World Cup, and that is it. The 13th and final race, the centerpiece of all these great races today, is the 13th and final race at Gulfstream. And, you know, you got pick 4s, pick 6s, pick 5s, a lot of bets going into this final race, that's for sure. The $3 million Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Invitational at 1 1/8 for 4-year-olds and up on the main. 13 have been entered, 13 are still in. And, Jonathan, I think you got a goodie for us. Yes, drum roll, please. Yes, I think you got a goodie for us.
Yeah, Ralph, I really like the number 6 horse in here, Senor Buscador. You know, trainer Todd Fincher is a terrific trainer, and he made a terrific move after the Cigar Mile back at Aqueduct on December 2nd, where, by the way, he was one of the only few horses that made up any ground that day. He shipped him to Florida, and he's been working steady over the Gulfstream Park main track. A lot of these horses that ship to Florida, they go to the training center at Par Meadows or Palm Beach Downs. This horse he sent to Gulfstream, and he's been working over Gulfstream. Listen, Gulfstream's not a great track for a horse that's got to come from way out of it, but that's the case. And I think there's enough speed in here to set things up for this horse. Listen, you have some nice horses in here. O'Connor's in here. National Treasure's in here, who, by the way, I would certainly try to beat at a short price. First Mission, highly regarded from the Cox Barn. They've always liked this horse. But I'm going down with Senor Buscador. Hopefully I get 10-1 or more. I think he's a terrific play. And I think he's going to run huge.
Huge today, he says, folks. And by the way, National Treasure is the morning line favorite, 9-5, and that is Mr. Bob Baffert again. And Flavian Pratt will ride. But there should be a brisk enough pace to set it up for a closing kick of Senor Buscador if he's all set and ready to go. This is reminiscent, this type of move is reminiscent to what White Abarrio did in winning the Breeders' Cup Classic right after he won his last big race. They sent him right to Santa Anita, and they trained him there for over a month to 2 months for that race. So this is the same kind of, template they're working with here.
He took a play out of the Dutro book, and hopefully it works.
All right. Let's make that your play of the day at Gulfstream then?
Yes, sir. That's the first of my 2 radio plays. And we're going to go to Aqueduct, by the way, where they have another pick 6 carryover. I think it's 3 days now. The track is off. Let's look at the 7th race. It's a flat mile on the main track around 1 turn. And I like the number 5 horse in here, Un Ojo. 5-year-old gelding for the Linda Rice Barn. Trevor McCarthy aboard to ride. He's listed at 8-1 on the morning line. He loves moisture in the track. Last time out, he cut back to the flat mile, and he ran huge. Number 5, Un Ojo, wins today's 7th race out at Aqueduct.
Uh-oh, it's a Ojo. And in the 7th race, the 5, Un Ojo, is your pick at Aqueduct. 7th race, the 5 horse, and, of course, at Gulfstream. In the 13th and final race, he likes the 6, Senor Buscador. I want to remind everybody that Jonathan has full sheets for all of Gulfstream today, and a lot of the horses that he mentioned, etc. All of Aqueduct today with a several-day pick 6 carryover. You got Santa Anita and Oaklawn Park as well. Jonathan, I know you got to go and do another show, so we want to thank you so much for this, and we'll talk to you tomorrow in enjoying Mr. Buscador's victory.
Thanks, Ralph. Stay safe and be well, and everybody enjoy the races because it's going to be a great day of racing.
All right. Now we are going to go to our first break. When we come back, we'll get you your racing menu, and then we'll have our other handicappers as well. It's Pegasus World Cup Day, Las Vegas style, here at the South Point Studios. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the race book? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
Horse players, the best of racing is always at Los Alamitos, with action-packed racing featured every single night. Trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Winter Derby will headline this Saturday night program. Top sophomores set to race include Rockin' with Energy, the runner-up in the Grade 1 Ed Burke Million, and multiple futurity finalists Optical Illusion. And don't forget about the big pools at Los Alamitos. The early Pick 4 had a pool of nearly 180,000 last Sunday, while the total pool in the Pick 6 was over 160,000 last Sunday. Our first post on Saturday night follows the final race at Santa Anita. Looking for a great spot to enjoy the live and simulcast racing action? The Vessels Club has a great table just for you. Inside seating and patio tables are available. For reservations, call 714-820-2681. And of course, Burgart Sports Bar is open for every live racing program. The best of racing, always at Los Alamitos. Remember, the trials to the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Winter Derby headline Saturday's card.
Alrighty, we'll get started with your racing menu in just a moment. We were talking about White Abarrio during the segment with Jonathan Hardoon. His connections have declared that he is ready to roll in the richest horse race in the world, the $20 million Saudi Cup. Trainer Richard Dutrow Jr. on Friday declared that. He's been working at Santa Anita, and with a month to go before the start of that race, he pronounced him fit and ready to roll in that race, that's for sure. All right, time to get started with the racing menu today, reminding you that the first post times we broadcast on this show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're in the Pacific time zone, as we are here in Las Vegas, where these races will roll out in our racebook here at South Point, no problem. These will be the first post times. But if you're listening on our websites, on podcasting, on the apps for your devices, however, wherever, whenever you get us, even if it's in your gold tooth fiddling, no matter how you get us, these first post times will be reflective of the start times in the Pacific time zone. If you're not in it, adjust to it. Don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. Real quick to take a look at what happened yesterday at Gulfstream. You had Tyler Gaffleone winning a couple of races yesterday. Pick 6 paid over $39,000 at Gulfstream to more than one winner. Aqueduct, Linda Rice, and Jose Lascano continued to connect well. They had a $17.40 winner together and came back with a $4 favorite in the fifth race. And again, as Jonathan alluded to, several-day carryover in the Pick 6 at Aqueduct. The Pick 6 with fives yesterday paid $611. And as far as Santa Anita was concerned, parade of favorites again there at Santa Anita, short prices, but Rich Eng and Jerry Jackowitz did give us the winner of the second race on their selections. That horse only paid $460, but it was just what they were giving you yesterday at Santa Anita. And so we begin now today's racing menu for you. And we begin with Gulfstream Park, because Gulfstream Park is less than a half an hour away to the first post time of their 13 races. We talked about all those races. You know all about it. 13 races, 7 stakes races, 4 Pick 4s, 3 Pick 5s. And the guarantee in the Pick 6 single ticket is $1 million. There'll be more in that than in the pool. And, of course, it's Pegasus World Cup Day at Gulfstream, where the conditions are just perfect for a racing day today. Next up will be Aqueduct, the Big A in New York. Now, remember, we were telling you that several-day Pick 6 carryover there. $73,199.04 is the Pick 6 carryover today at Aqueduct. Track is muddy there, and it's going to be mostly cloudy at Aqueduct today. Their first post time is 9:10. Couple of stakes races there. They include the Jimmy Winkfield. It will be the third on the card. 3-year-olds going 6 furlongs, a short field of 5. The 7-5 favorite there is Stolen Magic. 8-5 close second choice in that 5-horse field is Bergen. And then you get to the second of the 2 stakes races today, the $150,000 Interborough. 7 furlongs, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. 8 go to the post in that one. No late scratches in that race. The 5, Dr. B, is the favorite in there. And 10 races today at Aqueduct. And I'm going, again, a several-day carryover in the pick 6, $73,199. First post time is at 9:10. 9:10 first post at Aqueduct. Laurel Park is next. Laurel Park is racing today, so they say, after that one-day cancellation. Their pick 6 jackpot carryover, $4,744. 11 races, couple of stakes races today. The $100,000 extra heat, 6 furlongs for 3-year-old fillies is the 8th, where the favoritism will be between Reconcile and Hart. And then the $100,000 spectacular bid at 7 furlongs for 3-year-olds. That's the 10th race on the card. Your 9-5 favorite in that one is Ganair. First post time for the 11 races at Laurel is at 9:25. Tampa Bay Downs has 9 races today. Their pick 6 jackpot carryover, $50,305. First post time is at 9:30 at Tampa Bay. Oak Lawn Park has 10 races. Their feature race is the $150,000 fifth season, 4-year-olds and up going a mile. Before scratches, the 9-5 favorite there is Durante with Ramon Vasquez aboard. Oak Lawn Park's first post time is 10:30 at Oak Lawn. Sunland Park has 9 quarter-horse races today at Sunland, and their first post time at Sunland Park is set at 11:25 there. Then we get to Santa Anita. Santa Anita's first post time for 9 races set at 12:30. The feature is the Grade 2 San Pasqual. This is part of the Santa Anita Handicap Series. 8th race on the card at a mile and 8 for 4-year-olds and up. 8 go to the post before scratches. Good competitive race, though, it is. The 5-2 favorite there is Newgrange with Victor Espinoza. First post time Santa Anita is at 12:30. Then we get to the fairgrounds. They got a late post time today at the fairgrounds. They have 8 races at the fairgrounds. Their first post time there today is at 1 o'clock this afternoon. 1 o'clock at the fairgrounds today. Then you go to Golden Gate, Northern California. Golden Gate has 8 races. Their first post time is 1:15. Their pick 6 jackpot carryover, $32,445. First post time Golden Gate 1:15. Turfway Park has 10 races and full fields. The Wishing Well Stakes is their 8th and featured at 6.5 furlongs for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, and it's a full field. Marissa's Lady is the 8-5 favorite there at Turfway Park. And their first post time at Turfway, again, is set at 2:55. They got a nice pick 6 jackpot carryover of $143,385 today at Turfway Park. First post time, 2:55. Delta Downs has 8 races. Their first post time is at 3:05. Charlestown will kick in with 9 races. First post time at Charlestown is at 4 p.m. They have a pick 5 carryover today at Charlestown, a regular pick 5 carryover. That is $53,740 in their pick 5 carryover today at Charlestown. The pick 6 jackpot carryover is $13,986, and first post time is 4 p.m. We wrap it up with Los Alamitos in Southern California. Los Al, their first post time is 6 o'clock, 9 races, 1 thoroughbred race on the card. You have 4 mixed breed races and 4 quarter horse races tonight at Los Alamitos. And 3 of the quarter horse races are trials for 3-year-olds at 400 yards. 6 o'clock, Los Al. That's the menu of racetracks available today, and you know we're all concentrating on Gulfstream Park. And there's a couple of football games tomorrow that we're starting to tease into. Let's get Rich Eng to join us for both. Rich, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie.
Well, we got a big day of racing today at Gulfstream Park, I know, and I know you took a look at the races. We'll get to that in a minute. But I understand that there's some line change that are ticking up a little bit of the point spreads on the 2 games tomorrow.
Yeah, the first game, Chiefs-Ravens, I still see mostly 4s out there. It did bounce up to 4.5 a little bit, but if you're going to bet the Chiefs, you want to get the 4.5. If you're going to bet the Ravens, you might as well grab them at 4 because I don't think it's going to go to 3.5. There was a significant line change in the second game, the Lions and the 49ers. I think the announcement of Deebo Samuel definitely playing was activated. There were some 7.5s that popped up, including at the South Point, Ralph. So if you like the Lions, the 7.5 is a good number. If you like the 49ers, you might see if it bounces back to 7.
Yeah, no question about that. There's a little bit, but as you say, tomorrow is the day, and about 2 hours before kickoff of the first game, maybe 2 hours before the kickoff of the second game as well. That's where the money is really going to pour in. That's for sure. Weather conditions, I think San Francisco is going to be okay, but maybe we're Baltimore, not so.
Yeah, I double checked the weather. I've been following it closely. The weather in Santa Clara, where the stadium is for the 49ers, it's going to be mid 70s and sunny. It's going to be like perfect football weather for the 49ers Lions game. The Baltimore game, the highs are going to be in the 40s, the high 40s. Chance of rain about 85%. So it's going to be real damp. But I think we're going to see both teams probably try to run the football more than pass, maybe.
Okay, and we'll get obviously your selections tomorrow for that. But first things first, we got a big day of racing out at Gulfstream Park in the Pegasus World Cup. I'll concentrate on the 3 Pegasus World Cup races in proper. And, of course, the first one would be Pegasus World Cup Philly Mare Turf. Any thoughts about that race?
Well, in all honesty, Ralph, I apologize to the listeners. I really focused on the World Cup itself.
Let's do it then.
Race. So I'm going to offer a horse that, I listened to Jonathan go through all the races, and Jonathan is unbelievably sharp. So hopefully people made notes.
Sure.
But in the Pegasus World Cup, I've got a horse who's going to be like 40-1, Ralph. That I think I'm a big shot. And part of my reasoning is that when you try to find a horse that's going to outrun his odds, maybe run better than has previously, you look for changes. And the horse to me that has shown the most changes and potential is the number 1 Nimitz Class, who at the morning line is 20-1, Ralph. But I guarantee you this horse is going to go off at a lot higher than 20-1. My reasonings include the fact that the horse was privately purchased after that last race at Parks, and a brand new trainer, George Weaver, who was a disciple of the D. Wayne Lucas trainer tree, has been training this horse this winter and down in Florida. And if there's any time this horse is going to improve, it's going to be this race. Also draws the rail at 9 furlongs, which is the best post position for this race. I really think this horse has a chance to improve. Will he improve enough to win? Well, at 40-1, I'm willing to take a shot and give him a chance.
Absolutely. You don't see 40-1 shots win a lot, but when you have an opportunity to have an angle on a 40-1 shot, that's value. You take your shot on value, and sometimes they win. Most of the times they won't, but you got to take that shot at value. That's what it's all about in playing horses. As a matter of fact, that's what it's all about in gambling, period. Looking for value when you have an opportunity to have a good case for that value play, and you just did. By the way, Edgard Saiz, I should say, is riding very well at Gulfstream right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's another factor. You get a local pilot with course knowledge. And, if you take a look at the racing form PPs on this horse has a lot of speed, but I don't think has the kind of speed in this field where he's going to go to the front. So I look for Zayas to try to sit a pocket trip, meaning sitting 3rd, 4th, 5th down on the inside, saving all the ground. And if this horse improves under George Weaver's training, this horse might be able to kick in and make some noise in the stretch. We'll see.
All right, so right now, our 2 handicappers so far on the show, folks, neither one of them went anywhere near the favorite. Jonathan, of course, has Senior Buscador, 20-1 on the morning line. That's ambitious. I think it'll be at least half that price. But then Richie comes with a horse that's 20-1 on the morning line and may very well pump up to 50-1 and has a good story on that one. So suggestion is that taking a look at these 2 horses with, as they say, meat on the bone, you could use these horses in exactas, trifectas, superfectas, and even a super high 5. If any of them hit the board with some of the horses that you may like out there, this thing's going to pay well, that's for sure. And if they get there, bada bing, that's absolutely. All right, so Richie, you got the 1 Nimitz Class. You got everybody's attention on that one in the 13th race at Gulfstream. I know you have a Santa Anita sheet today, so we'll get a pick from you for Santa Anita, and we'll let you go and get the fine-tuning done for the NFL games tomorrow.
Let's go to race 8 at Santa Anita, which is the San Pasquale. And this one I'm going to show less originality. I'm just going to go with the Baffert and the 4 Newgate. He's got an uncoupled entry. The other horse is Mr. Fisk, who also has a big chance. But I think Newgate is just perfectly positioned. Picks up Joe Ozero to ride. I think this horse is going to get a perfect trip. So I'm going with Baffert in the Newgate in the San Pasquale.
Eighth race, the San Pasqual at Santa Anita. You like the 4 Newgate. The 4 in the 8th race at Santa Anita. Rich Ang's full sheet for Santa Anita is available right now at the racedaylasvegas.com websites. Rich, thank you a lot for taking a look at the World Cup and coming up with a juicy there for us. And, of course, we'll wait for your predictions in the NFL tomorrow, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralphie. Good luck, everybody.
All right. Now, you know that our closing act is always John and Jerry, and that's what it's going to be today. John Lendo is standing by. I'm sure he has a thought or two about some of those Gulfstream races. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation is committed to helping our nation's heroes and their families in their darkest hours. When a first responder or veteran doesn't return home and leaves behind a young family, Tunnel to Towers supports them. The foundation pays off their mortgages and lifts their financial burdens through their Gold Star Family Home Program and Fallen First Responder Home Program. Through their Smart Home Program, catastrophically injured veterans and first responders regain their independence with a mortgage-free home, specially adapted to meet their unique physical needs. Tunnel to Towers also provides housing assistance and services to our nation's homeless veterans through their Homeless Veteran Program. They are helping more than 2,000 in 2023 because no veteran should be living on the streets of the country they signed up to protect. Join Tunnel to Towers on its mission to do good and never forget 9/11 or the sacrifices made by our nation's heroes. Donate $11 a month at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Want to bet your favorite horse but can't make it to the racebook? South Point Casino's Racebook has the answer. Come in and sign up for the Nevada Racebook mobile app. For just a $50 minimum deposit, you'll have the Racebook right at your fingertips, no matter where you are in Nevada. It's convenient, fun, and easy to use. When you do have time to visit, South Point Casino is the perfect place to be. Our Racebook is completely separate from the sportsbook and totally dedicated to the horse player. With 52 overhead TVs, free Wi-Fi, and cocktail service. Bring your tablet or smartphone and plug into the USB ports to look up your favorite handicapping website without draining your battery. Want to wager from your seat? No problem with our IPTs. Just sign up, make a deposit, and you're off to the races. Plus, you'll earn points for dining, hotel, movies, entertainment, and the spa just by using the club card when wagering. Whether you want to come in or play from the comfort of your home, South Point Casino's Racebook has you covered.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
As we continue on the Pegasus World Cup Day, Las Vegas style here at the South Point Studios in Las Vegas, time to bring on our man in Southern California, John Lendo, who I know is chomping at the bit as well for the Pegasus World Cup Day. John, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralph. Yeah, pretty good card in the middle of winter here. It's a lot of fun today.
Man, everywhere you look, there's a pool to jump into, and I mean a betting pool, not a swimming pool, that's for sure. You got all these pick 4, pick 5s, coast to coast pick 5, super high 5s, all that good stuff, and rich possibilities in every one of the races here at Gulfstream. And you've done the work as well. You got a full Lindo report for Gulfstream Park today covering all the races there, as well as a full Lindo report for Santa Anita and all the races there. The suggested late pick 4 at both tracks. You had the suggested late pick 4 yesterday at Santa Anita, but to be honest, it was just a terrible payoff with all those favorites in there. But you can't take what they're not going to give you.
It chalked out yesterday. It's been that way a little bit at Santa Anita, but we got big fields at Gulfstream today. So I think chances to make a score several places today. We'll have some fun.
Let's do it, John. We'll go through the stakes races if you want to.
Wherever you want to go.
All right, the 6th race, the La Prévision.
Tell you what, in the 6th race today, this race does look chalky. Romagna Mia looks like a true 1.5 mile kind of filly. R. Kelly Kim, very sharp. I think the race goes through those two, and I'll just leave it there because there's more meat around that race in the rolling bets.
Yeah, no question about that. They're the two favorites on the board. Certainly they'll vie for favoritism when the parimutuel pool is done. Then we go to the William L. McKnight, 1.5 miles on the turf. They got 5 scratches in that race. Did you get them?
I got them. Okay. I think Anglophile, who didn't draw in to the Pegasus turf, is in this race instead. And I think it's a good spot for him. He drew post 11, so he'll have to work out a trip. They go into that first turn pretty quick. But if he can work out that trip, I think 12-1 on the program, there's a lot of value there. The race changed a little bit with F5 drawing into the race. He's the speed now. But I keep an eye, too, on Cellist. He has some tactical speed. He'll get first run at the leader, and he's going to be a big number in there as well. So some numbers in here that you can play with.
Yes, Cellist is the 8, and your key horse, Anglophile, is the 11. And, of course, F5, the name of the horse, is number 16. We now go to the inside information for the fillies and mares.
Again, the fillies and mares, this looks like a relatively chalky race. Mary, quite contrary. I can't single her just because of her style. She comes from way out of it, but she is a Gulfstream Park specialist. She likes 7 furlongs. She's going to be tough to beat. Intrepid Gene will be the one she has to run down in mid-stretch. So I'm just going to use those 2 in the rolling bets. And again, not a win bet for me here, but Mary, quite contrary, the one to beat.
You better take a little bit of a look at number 2. The horse's name is 2 Item Saver, the 2 in that race. I think that could be a live horse to make the number in this inside information. Then we go to the 3 Pegasus World Cup races, the Pegasus World Cup Filly Mare Turf on the turf. How do you see this one?
Well, the California filly Ruby Nell's got all kinds of speed. I think she'll open up on this field early. I am just a big fan of Didia. She did not run her best race in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, but her previous races were all really good. She can handle the mile on the 16th on the cutback. I think she makes the last run in here. Ruby Nell, always dangerous, especially if she can open a big lead turn for home. And Mission of Joy might get overlooked a little bit in here. I made the race 9-6-11. But I'm a big fan of Didia. I think she's going to run a big one.
All right, we'll push this along. The 11th race is the Fred W. Hooper.
I think Hijazi's vulnerable here for the Baffer stable. From the rail, he's got to go. He's never won going a mile. He'll get pressed a little bit here. I think a creative from the Chad Brown stable, who finally won a race yesterday, ran against the speed bias in the Cigar Mile. I think he's the value of the race. Number 8, a creative for me.
All right, and then we get to the 2 biggies, the $1 million Pegasus World Cup Turf at 1 mile and an eighth on the turf.
You know what? The Euros are just better than the Americans on the grass going long. Warm Heart has had a busy schedule. She's been to France, England, the U.S., and Hong Kong in her last 4 starts, comes back to Florida. If she runs her race, she'll win this race. Integration, I don't know how good he is, but he sure has a nice turn of foot. And Webslinger, a very honest horse, but if the Euro Warm Heart runs her race, she's better than these horses.
All right, and then the main event, the $3 million Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup Invitational, mile and eighth on the main for 4-year-olds and up. We've got a few opinions on this race already that has long prices to it. What about you, John?
This race will be won going into the first turn. If National Treasure can make the lead, that's where he's at his very best. He's not as good when he can't, and we'll find out if Skippy Longstocking from the far outside or Hoist the Gold can beat him to the turn. If they do, this race opens up. Whatever happens in that first turn, I think First Mission falls into a good stocking trip. He's fresh. He's been pointed to this race for some time. You give Brad Cox a target, he is awful tough to beat. First Mission for me in the Pegasus World Cup.
And that is number 8, First Mission in the 13th race, the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream Park. I want to remind everybody again, with all these pick 4s, pick 5s, and all this goody stuff going on, he has a full sheet, the Lindo Report, full sheet for Gulfstream right now here at the South Point Racebook, as well as Santa Anita, and it's free of charge exclusively here for you, the horse players. They love horse players here. All right, a pick at Gulfstream, a pick at Santa Anita, and we'll let you go.
Gulfstream Park, race number 5. Number 3, Headline News, the choice for me here. I think the favorite, Mason, is vulnerable. I didn't like the way he ran his last couple of starts. He comes back today. He's going to be over bet. 15-1 on Headline News. An improving horse draws a good post. I think that's the value. Number 3, Headline News, race 5 at Gulfstream. All
right, 5th race, the 3-horse at Gulfstream at 15-1. These guys are giving us some really good prices today. All we need is a couple to get there. We're going to have a good time today. In the 5th race, the 3, don't forget the full sheet here. All right, Santa Anita.
Let's go to race 7 at Santa Anita, down the hill. I like number 3, Gypsy Tears, who ran really well in his only start down the hill. Got good tactical speed. He'll get the first run on his main competition, who are number 7, Andy Can You Hear Me, and number 2, Bronco Nagurski. Let's hope Gypsy Tears carries to the wire. 7-2 on the program. Number 3, Gypsy Tears.
Seventh race, number 3, Gypsy Tears. Kyle Frey aboard the 3 in the 7th race, and again, a full sheet for Santa Anita. Remember, folks, he also has a coast-to-coast pick 5 suggestion for you on that sheet, featuring the 12th at Gulfstream and the 13th at Gulfstream, the last 2 races, the Pegasus World Cup races, and the races 6, 7, and 8 at Santa Anita. Full sheets with a lot of stuff covering it all here at the South Point Racebook. The Linda reports today for Santa Anita and Gulfstream. Thanks a lot, John. Enjoy the day.
You too, Ralph. Say hi to my friends at the South Point.
I certainly will, my man. Thank you. All right, now we're going to go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, no hat today, but that's okay. We tip our hat to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Well, I know I asked you to at least take a look at the Pegasus World Cup. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I did. I kind of like Ruby Nell in the 10th race, going a mile and a 16th on the turf, shipping in for Papa Mandel. He gets Dettori up, which might be really helpful if this horse has to come off the pace. This filly wants to go a mile, and we're pushing it out at a mile and a 16th, I think. But, you know, at 8-1, I think it's really a good value horse with a real good chance to run a winning race. So I'll use the 6 with the 2, 3, 7, and 9. And I'm betting against the 4 horse, so you could throw the 4 on if you want or not.
All right, that's the 10th race, the World Cup Pegasus Filly Mare Turf. You like the 6 Ruby Nell with numbers 2, 3, 7, and 9. Now we get to the Pegasus World Cup Turf.
I'm a little bit at a quandary here. I don't think you can bet on Integration, and I really don't think you can bet against Integration. That's the 3 horse at 3-1. The odds are just too short. I don't really know exactly what to do. The other horse in the race is obviously number 9, Warm Heart. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe you'll use him as a doubleton in some sort of race over race play, or just pass the race. But I don't know. The 3 looks unbettable, and I think he's the best horse in the race.
All right, she's the best horse, and that is in the 12th race, the 3 Integration. So your
Integration is a cult.
Oh, I'm sorry, it is. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Integration, you are absolutely right. The 3 horse is the key in that race. Warm Heart is the mare that's going in that race. Okay, now we get to the Pegasus World Cup Invitational. What say you?
What say I? Senor Buscador.
Oh, my goodness. You're the 3rd person that I've talked to over the last 24 hours that like this horse at 20-1.
Yeah, it just sort of fits at all. Just barely on the edge, fits everywhere. It's a perfect 20-1 shot. It's a good horse who can run a little bit, and it's not out of class, and everything is just sort of just barely right. So I think Senor Buscador is a good win place to bet. If you want to hook them up with some other horses I have, obviously the 7 National Treasure, the 8 First Mission, the 4 Hoist the Flag, the 5 Trademark, and number 11 Croupier. I gave you that in a crazy order, but the 6 with the 4, 5, 7, 8, 11.
All right, that's in the 13th at Gulfstream. The 6, you like Senor Buscador, too. You like the 6 over 4, 5, 7, 8, and 11 in the Pegasus World Cup. I want to thank you, Jerry, for taking a look at those races. Now we'll get your picks for Aqueduct and Santa Anita.
Yeah, let's go to the 9th race. Reed ships in Dr. B again to New York. He's deadly shipping into New York. This is a fast mare. I'll take the 4 in the 9th race, play the 4 over the 2, 5, 6, and 8.
All right, it's going to be over the 2 and the 5. The 6 and 8 are scratches. They just came in. The 6 and the 8 are scratched in that race. So in the 9th race at Aqueduct, you like the 4 over the 2 and the 5 and reverse, right?
Correct.
All right, Santa Anita.
Yeah, I'm having a little love affair with this horse today. Number 4, Newgate in the 8th race. I just think, I don't even know if I want to reverse this. I will because of discipline, but I feel very strongly about the 4 horse in the 8th race. I'm going to play the 4 over the 2, 5, 6, do some reverses, but Newgate for Bob Baffert, Joel Rosario up.
All right, and you and Richie both land on the same horse, so we got a good housekeeping seal of approval for our handicappers in the San Pasquale, the 8th race. You like the 4. Your link-ups are 2, 5, and 6, and reverse. 4 is the key. Don't forget Jerry J's Power Pages for all Aqueduct and all the Santa Anita available right now at jerryjspowerpage.com. I want to thank all of our handicappers today for doing extra work to take a look at those races at Gulfstream Park. Don't forget the Linda Report for Gulfstream and Santa Anita is available right here at the South Point Racebook, free of charge. It's going to be a hell of a day of racing out there, folks. So just get out there and enjoy. And, Jerry has just one more thing to say, and I know he's going to say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.